Today I'm going to dive into Nancy Pelosi's crystal ball, the PANW trade. I'm also going to give some thoughts on Nvidia. They're reporting tomorrow after market close. Both of them have actually been Nancy plays, and both of them have been wildly profitable. I made a prediction in the Discord, which is the Stock Squad Patreon. That's myself, Keenan Grace, StockMo, and Stock Up with Larry Jones. I made a prediction yesterday before PANW's earnings. I said, guys, we've gotten pretty much as far as we might go as far as running up. It was an incredible run up that we had, people making tens of thousands of dollars on that play. But I said, you know what? It's kind of the IV on the options is getting overheated. So even if they do well, I'm not convinced that the option premiums are going to go higher in price. So I said, when we get around this 323, 324 price, I'm going to take profits, and then I'm going to be looking to buy back again when this thing dips. Well, that's exactly what happened. Now, they didn't have terrible earnings. They simply had a relatively meet expectations, but it's been a theme in this particular earnings cycle that meet expectations, and in some cases, beat expectations just isn't enough. They've got to be killing expectations. And so I'm going to take that exact same line of thinking into Nvidia tomorrow. I'm bullish on Nvidia. Nvidia's been on an absolute gangbuster run, been loading the boat along the way. I'm very bullish on Nvidia, but the IV, which is the implied volatility of those call options, has gotten pretty expensive. And when we get to the top of the range, the momentum can cool off. That causes the IV to cool off, which causes the premium of the options to go down. And so even though the price might make another burst up, it doesn't guarantee you a higher option price. Or if it does, it's an extremely short window where that occurs. We're talking 5 or 10 minutes. So I am going to be holding on to my position into earnings tomorrow, but I'm likely going to cut half or 2/3 go before market close to minimize my risk and to celebrate the win of the run-up on Nvidia that we've enjoyed. And someone will say, Josh, Nvidia is going higher. I actually think there's a pretty good chance that it will go higher, but the risk to reward changes, and I'm willing to take a step back. So I'm coming right out at the open to tell you guys what I did with PANW. It proved to be successful. I'm going to basically do the same thing with Nvidia. This hasn't been an earnings cycle where companies have come out and been rewarded with beats. It's been a profit-taking scenario, and I believe that the market is getting back to all-time highs. We know that, but going higher. But we're getting close to the end of that push up. I'm not expecting the market as measured by the SPX to get as high as 5,800. My prediction was that we could get back up to where we're at right now and that we could touch around 5,500. That's what I'm watching for right now. And if that happens and we go into a long cool-off phase, it means that a lot of big tech companies, which are at the top of their range, are going to go back and test the bottom of their range. And so it's time. My yesterday's video was titled, You're Not Ready, because some folks are just not prepared to make decisions, big decisions, about a major change in their portfolio. I believe that the markets are going to have uptrend moves between fear and FOMO over the next 45 days to 2 months. And you have time, but you want to begin to get ready for the downturn that may come later this year. We don't know when those things are going to happen, but I want you to seriously look at your portfolio. I'm seriously looking at my portfolio. If you can absorb a 20% downturn in, let's say, the Magnificent Seven, and you just want to continue to accumulate, then you're fine. But if you can't absorb a downturn like that, then you need to raise that stop loss and lock in some profit. Let's take a look at Nancy Pelosi's play. Now, somebody might not even know why I call this Nancy Pelosi's play, because just like Jon Stewart said in the beginning, here's an insider position that she may have taken, allegedly, supposedly, as Keenan Grace likes to say, that she took. She took an insider position on Nvidia. It took off like a rocket ship. She made millions of dollars. She did the same thing with PANW. Now, this one has not been as successful as the Nvidia play, but it's been pretty darn successful for me following her. And I got late to the game in following her. Now, in recent days, I've actually subscribed to Quiver Quant. I'm getting used to that platform. It's not anything I'm recommending right now, but that gives me the buy and sell orders for the politicians, Tommy Tuberville, which he mentioned in that skit, and Nancy Pelosi. I'm going to take those. I'm going to do lotto trades on them. I'm going to look at the technicals. I'm going to take a small position, and if they're giving me good direction, I'm going to share that in the Discord, and then I'm going to scale up as they become profitable. It's what we did with PANW, and it was a huge success. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you guys for following me today. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for saying hi and just throwing a heart in the comment, and hit subscribe if you want to get these type of plays from Wall Street and Washington. All right, let me take a minute. Let's go into the chart and let's see what am I seeing for PANW right now. Okay, I want to make it clear, the line in the sand for me is this support, this structural support zone at around 307. You can see that it is actually operated as structural support there and structural resistance there. We blasted through it, and yesterday's call, I told everybody that we were going to be taking profits between 320 and 324. We got all the way up to 324 and 68. Man, I tell you, those are some accurate calls. And this then capitulated after hours. But I also said in the Discord, I said, guys, we're going to be watching for it to recover above 307. That happened very quickly this morning, and it just has continued to climb. Let me go to a smaller time frame real quick so you guys can see how that played out. So it fell down beneath 307, but it quickly began to bounce, and it recovered and pushed all the way back up to around 318 and 51 cents. Now we're going to be waiting for it to pull back and hopefully hold above 307. You guys can see the way this works. This was structural resistance. It broke beneath it. It's come back above. We want to see if it'll bounce again on 307. The bottom line is, if you guys take this big picture view with me, this is a weekly candlestick view, you can clearly see that we're dealing with structural areas of support and resistance. Before earnings, I outlined that the zone of take profit, I actually gave you guys this price point when we were all the way back here, right? I actually made this a call in the Discord right here, which was an incredible call. And then I said that I was going to scale up right here, which was another incredible call. And since then, it's taken off like a rocket ship. I told everybody that we were coming to our destination here around 320. We hit that. We've had this turbulence, but the big question is the party over? And I don't think so just yet. I will only take the view that this is going on a longer downturn if we open and close a candle beneath 307. As long as we stay above this structural support zone of 307, I think that we can still get up between 331 and 337, and that's where I would be potentially more bearish on waiting more for a pullback to re-enter. At the moment, this is the first weekly red candle, and this week has not closed up yet. This is the first red candle that we've gotten, and so you're looking for 2 red candles, folks, on any time frame, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly. Right now, this is showing a little bit of a moment of indecision. We could have a follow-up green candle next week, pushing us all the way up to 331, 337. That's kind of what I'm watching for. But if we get a candle that opens and closes beneath 307, then it's time to let this thing go to the downside. All right, let me take a very quick station break for the Mumu investment app, guys. There's still time all the way up until May 28th to get 10 fractional shares with my link of the Magnificent 7 if you open and put $100 in the Mumu exchange. It's available in the US, Australia, and Canada, but the offer of what they give away is different in each. You can get 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 for the United States. All right, I wanted to go into Nvidia. Nvidia is a company with big piles of cash, leading the market, growing in market share all the time. We've had a huge swing up. Let's get into that chart and figure out what might happen next. Guys, right here in the last week, I said when we got up here to right underneath 960, I said expect a pullback, expect us to at least come back to 936, and I think that that's going to hold. So we did pull back. We went further than that. We went all the way down to around 918. We came back above. We spent the last 2 days bouncing above 936, which is bullish. We've got earnings tomorrow, and my target is 960. Now, let's just go over some things so everybody's on the same page. Guys, this is a well-established resistance zone here at 960. So this is clearly established resistance. This will be the 3rd time that we've made an attempt. And I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm looking at the daily time frame. We can easily tomorrow drive up through 960 on good earnings, we could shoot all the way above 987. That's possible. So I'm going to leave some call option runners to take advantage of whatever move might occur while locking in the majority of the run up that I have enjoyed. If you guys have followed me for a while, you know that we traded this move down. I bought in heavily right here, right around 818. I suggested that once we cleared 850 that we should scale. Again, we got to 881. That was our target at one point. And I said, you know what, guys, this is looking strong. If we hold above 881, don't sell any, don't lock in profits, hold the winner longer. Obviously, that was a good call. We run all the way up back to 960. 960 was my target. So you guys see that we have an ascending support line, and you can understand already how this would work. If we break beneath this ascending support line, then this longer term trend will be over for the short term. At the moment, I'm expecting more movement to the upside, but I am locking in a lot of what I scaled into in this area. I'm going to be locking it in just to have good discipline and take profits. But as long as we're above 936, we're in the zone where tomorrow we could pop. We're still above this ascending support line, but we're going to watch for a candle to open and close beneath this ascending line to determine whether or not the overall run is over. If this is shockingly good earnings tomorrow, then this absolutely can shoot up to 987. And my bigger goal for Nvidia is actually 1058. So if we get a candle to open and close above 960, my destination is going to be 1058, just so you know. The overall chart is still relatively looking bullish. It's setting up for a push. But I'm going to be looking for opportunities to see how it holds up between 960 and 987 because this has been an area of resistance. It's the third time that we've been knocking on this door. And so, 3 times might be a charm. This might be the time in which we blast through. Overall, Nvidia has been showing strength. The pullback, I kept telling everybody when we got down to this 769, I said, that's enough of a pullback for us to now go and test the top of the range. It's exactly what we did. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Tomorrow I'm going to be touching on Tesla and some crypto. Hit that like. Thanks for joining me today. Hit that subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Peace and blessings.